Welcome to In Edina, a program about the people, places, and activities in the city of Edina. I'm your host, Lillian McDonald, and we want to wish all our viewers a very happy holiday season. We hope you have an opportunity to enjoy friends and family and have a safe holiday season. We have some festive events in our program this month, but first we're going to talk a little bit about some of the exciting planning activities going on in our city. And joining us for that is the Director of Planning, a new Director of Planning to the city of Edina. Welcome, Carrie Teague.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, we really appreciate your time. Tell us a little bit about your background so we sort of get to know a little bit about where you came from.
Sure. I came from the city of Minnetonka, where I was the principal planner for 6 years. I was in charge of all the commercial and residential development in the city. Prior to that, I worked for the city of New Brighton. I was the city planner there and did some consulting work prior to that. But my first job in planning was with the city of Edina as the planning intern under the previous director.
Well, welcome back, I should say then, to the city of Edina. You've seen a lot of scope. Tell us about one of your biggest projects in Minnetonka, because I know some of those skills are going to definitely lend itself here in our city.
Yeah, the largest project that I worked on in Minnetonka was a redevelopment of what they called the Glen Lake area down on Excelsior and Williston Road. It was a redevelopment of an old strip mall and some tired old office buildings that were pretty run down. It was a redevelopment for two 10-story residential buildings with commercial on the bottom, on the lower levels. So somewhat similar to some of the development projects that we're seeing here in the greater Southdale area, with apartments, 10-story plus buildings with retail on the bottom.
So you're kind of navigating and negotiating a lot of needs when you sit down and do a planning project. Is that right?
That's right. Or we're balancing. The first thing we look at is the zoning ordinance, and is that use allowed on that site? Does the height meet the height requirements? Do the buildings meet the setback requirements? Also need to look at traffic, the impacts that a new development would cause to the existing roadway systems, and first, would the project be supported by the roadway systems, and are there any improvements that would need to be made to the roadways as a result of that development?
Well, I know there's many projects going on in the city of Edina, but since you brought up the Southdale development area, let's talk a little bit about that. What's going on in that area?
We're experiencing a lot of redevelopment pressure from the property owners who would like to redevelop their sites, get more density, more intensification of use on their properties. Senior housing is a big need in the city, so we're seeing a lot of developers come in with wanting to do some senior housing, apartments and retail, kind of mixing all those uses together.
So when you're looking at adding businesses or adding residences to the area, you're also having to fit them into the existing platform that's already there and making sure that all the needs are met, correct?
That's correct.
All right. So what about, when you're talking about building height and things like that, what do you have for considerations there?
Well, you look at first what the zoning ordinance allows. Does it fit the area? Mm-hmm. Like here in the greater Southdale area, the tallest building is the Park Plaza Tower, which is 18 stories.
So we don't want to go beyond that, but we want to stay within the scope and still meet everybody's needs.
Right, and what are the impacts on the adjacent properties?
Do you sort of balance that by I need to have so many houses and so many apartments, so many senior housing, and so many businesses? I mean, is there any mathematical notion to that, or is it all a matter of just what fits in the land use area?
Yeah, it's more of what fits there. The city does also have what we call a floor area ratio requirement. So you can only get so much on each property depending on the size of that property.
Okay. And let's touch on traffic just a little bit, because I know that's always on everybody's mind, to and fro. When you're adding more people and businesses, you're probably going to be adding more cars. What are you looking at in the Southdale area?
Right. So there's congestion is a problem in the area now on France Avenue in York and 70th Street. So we don't want to make matters worse by having more development come in. So we need to take a close look at each project that's proposed to see what the impacts are to the roadway system.
And of course your job will be to analyze all that information, bring it to the city council, and let them decide.
That's right. We would require developers to put together traffic studies. Those studies are brought to our Transportation Commission, and then their recommendations all go to the city council to help them make their decisions.
Well, Carrie Teague, I really appreciate your information. I know you're new this fall to the city of Edina, and you have lots to look forward to, as do we. We hope to have you back again to hear more about it.
Thank you. I'd be glad to.
Thank you very much. Well, from a discussion on the Southdale Development Project, let's just go down the road to the Centennial Lakes area and see what's new on the promenade. Well, with all the good planning going on inside, lots of great things are happening outside. And joining us right now is Heather Worthington, Assistant City Manager. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Lillian.
Right here on Edina's Promenade.
Yes, nearby. It's just north of Centennial Lakes Park, and it's a 80-foot right-of-way that runs from York Avenue to a point just north of the park, and then it goes north and south up to the Galleria.
No cars, just Mother Nature, and some good things in the works.
Absolutely. We're hoping to accommodate pedestrian and bicycle traffic in that right-of-way, no vehicles, and it will really be an amenity that connects Centennial Lakes Park with the rest of the greater Southdale area.
Tell us a little bit about how you got this whole thing started.
Well, what we first did was hired Aris Pecans of URS Corporation, and he is the same designer and architect who designed Centennial Lakes Park. And so we knew that Aris would be a perfect choice in terms of connecting the aesthetics and design elements of Centennial Lakes Park with the promenade area.
Well, it would help to have somebody who knows the area, knows how the residential community blends in with the commercial community, and brings everything together.
Yes, and our commercial residents who live along this corridor, in addition to our residents who own homes and condos, all of them have different needs.
And so you took the opinions from the public at the meeting in May.
Yes.
And you gave them to the consultant, and out comes a new plan this fall.
Right.
And on this crisp, cool fall day, you're about ready to reveal some different ideas to the public and get some feedback.
We are. We have them on our website already at cityofedina.com/promenade, and you can look at Aris's draft plans that were presented at the October 16th meeting. And those plans are really what we're hoping to get public feedback on, either through the mail or through email through our city's website.
Well, we might as well take a look at them not only on the website, but also on a walking tour. What's the most challenging thing about a place like this?
Well, as was mentioned before, the really most challenging aspect was that this is a very narrow corridor. It's only 80 feet wide, and trying to create something interesting and exciting really took some thinking and some effort. Because it's a long linear segment, it's between housing and commercial on the other side, and it's a fairly long segment. So the issue was, how can we accommodate all the functional needs we need to accommodate, and as well as create some interesting spaces and places?
Well, I tell you what, the city of Edina is really lucky to have you, Aris Pecans, urban designer for URS, and this is your baby out here.
That's absolutely true, and what's really exciting about this project is that it's a continuation of Centennial Lakes, and we really enjoyed our work for about 10 years working on Centennial Lakes.
What are we going to see out here then?
Well, the thought is, or the thinking is to do something similar or a continuation of Centennial Lakes. It is a different area, it isn't quite the same space as Centennial Lakes, and yet we believe that we can create some exciting places, provide some unique features, sculptures, water features, fountains that will really make this interesting.
So like right here on this intersection, what do you forecast right here?
Here is a very unique area. It's a crossroads really for the promenade and the path from Centennial Lakes. You go in all kind of different directions here. What we would see is a major feature, a sculpture, for example, maybe with some water, directional signs, some nice landscaping. This really becomes one of the focal points of the whole project area. Now, another interesting area is just to the north of here, where there's an opportunity to widen the corridor, and the thinking there is that the city will work with the developers to possibly get some easements or additional right-of-way. And the thought there is to create some very unique water feature that will be unique to this area, in fact. It might be fashioned after some other ones, like in Chicago, the Millennium Fountain.
And that's where they have a projection screen there, so
right.
you actually get some video and some views in the waterfall.
Right. Our thinking is to have a place where people can sit, enjoy the water, at the same time have some unique characteristics to it. Have a screen, a water screen that drips down, and we project images on that. You can also walk through the water, you can enjoy the fountain itself, as well as a large space around it.
Wow, and of course it'll all be beautifully landscaped along both sides, I'm sure.
Right, well the thought is this path really acts as a as a connector for a regional trail system. It's a Hennepin County trail system that will go right through here. It also connects the Centennial Lakes developments with the Southdale area. And so we have to accommodate both the bicyclists and the pedestrians. The concept right now is to have a two-path system. The path will kind of meander in and out against each other, and will create the unique kind of places and spaces between the two paths. So
really
as you are
exciting.
either biking on one of the paths or you are walking on the other path, you can have these central spaces. You can sit, you can stop, enjoy the fountains. There will be opportunities for sculptures and other special features.
And everyone will have an opportunity to bring their opinions into the project.
That's
Thank you
correct.
so much
That's
for
correct.
your skill and your beauty and your love for the project.
We enjoy doing this.
We really appreciate
Thank you
having
very
you
much.
on Edina. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Wow, Heather, you've got a lot of potential going on out here on the
We sure
promenade.
do. We sure do. Lots of opportunities.
And it's not a done deal. It's still all on paper.
Absolutely. And we still want public feedback on this. It's very important that we hear from people on this project.
Good. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the walking tour, and you can see it again on the website and
Yes.
provide some feedback.
Yes, and we hope you will visit our city website, which is cityofedina.com/promenade. You can either click on the link to email us about it, or if you prefer to put pen to paper, you can certainly do that as well.
But all the comments have to be in by the end of January, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so now's your chance. Get your word in, take a look at the promenade, and take a walk on it sometime in the future. Well, it's a little bit cold outside, and that may mean you're inside a lot. And of course, 'tis the season for seasonal flu, so we want to take a little bit of time and talk about what to do about the flu. Hopefully you won't get it, but if you do, there are things you can do to prevent it and take care of it. And joining us to talk about the flu this year is Lisa Brodsky, Public Health Emergency Preparedness Coordinator. We really appreciate it. You're here from the city of Bloomington, Edina, and Richfield. Thank you for joining us on Edina.
Thank you for having me.
You're looking pretty healthy. You obviously are taking some steps to prevent the flu this season. And there are things many of us can do, but let's talk a little bit first about the flu season in general. What are the symptoms of the flu?
Well, typically, it's the fever, aches and pains, just generally feeling pretty yucky, and possibly some gastrointestinal issues, diarrhea, possibly vomiting.
Where are we in the flu season right now?
We're really near the beginning of the flu season. We've been doing quite a few flu shots since the beginning of November, and that's one of the things we really strongly recommend.
So you've been having a lot of clinics in the area to get folks energized to get a flu shot.
Yeah, we really target some senior residences and quite a few other places throughout the Bloomington, Edina, and Richfield area, but we really strongly encourage seniors especially to get that flu shot.
Well, in addition to a flu shot, there's some other things we should do to keep germs from spreading, because that's really what we're talking about, is keeping our germs from spreading onto other people. So let's talk a little bit about that. How can we prevent germs from spreading to others?
Well, a really important technique is good hand washing. We recommend that hand washing is done about 15 to 20 seconds. And also really important, teach your children how to wash their hands properly. This is something you can do together. Children learn through modeling behavior. So if you're doing a really good job washing your hands, they will also pick that up.
And when you're talking about washing your hands, you're not talking about just using water. You're talking about using soap and water.
Soap and water, or an antibacterial soap, is also very helpful. And again, 15 to 20 seconds, it's about as long as it takes to sing the ABCs, so you can make it a game of it with your children.
With your kids, or if you're by yourself, you can, I hear, sing happy birthday to yourself, and that's about how long it takes to wash your hands properly, for 15 to 20 seconds. Now, the antibacterial soap is kind of interesting to me because it's something you can take with you, because we're not always near a restroom where we can actually wash our hands and stop for that. Is that right?
It is true. They sell a lot of these in little small sizes. You can also put these in your children's backpacks, and they can take them to school. And so if you're getting in the habit of using the hand sanitizer on a regular basis, if you're not near a restroom, it really is helpful. It does sanitize your hands.
Mm-hmm. It's handy to have in the car, it's handy to have in the office, and then there are places where you're going and you're just not near sink and water and soap. What about covering your cough? I hear about this all the time too, where that's really something simple that we can do but we forget about. It's basic manners, but it's easy to forget.
It is easy to forget, and it's also, they've changed the rules on that one. We were taught to cover your cough by using your hand covering your mouth. Now it's actually covering your cough by using the inside of your arm, where you cough into your arm or over here, to prevent getting the germs directly on your hands.
Because then if they're on your hands, they spread to the doorknobs or when you're shaking hands.
Correct.
So if you're covering your cough, it does look a little bit funny when you're coughing into your sleeve, or you could use a Kleenex.
You could use a Kleenex, but after that you really should also, once again, use the hand sanitizer.
Okay. What are some other things we can do to keep germs from spreading? The surfaces are important to wash off, things at work.
Really, anytime you're going to touch your mouth with your hands or your face, you really got to think about what you've already touched. So if you keep your surfaces of your computer, your workstation, the telephones, if you keep those clean, that's also very important.
Well, we may do our very best to prevent the flu, but what happens and how do we know if we've got the flu?
Well, there are the obvious signs and symptoms of the flu: the aches, the pains, the fevers, the chills, and also gastrointestinal, diarrhea or vomiting may also accompany the flu.
Mm-hmm. And the best thing to do if we have the flu, of course, we can see a physician, our healthcare provider, but what is probably some of the most important practical things we can do if we have it?
Well, you want to manage your temperature, manage your fever by taking either any kind of fever medication, Tylenol, acetaminophen, and also really watch carefully for dehydration.
Mm-hmm. So we should be drinking a lot of fluids, in particular water, probably some juices as well.
Yes, that's very important. And pushing electrolytes.
Okay, and one of the common messages we hear it all the time is stay home. It's not easy to stay home when you're sick, but it's probably the best thing you can do.
It really is. You know, a lot of people worry about the productivity that's going to be lost if they don't go to work, but you really need to think about the productivity that will be lost when you infect 5 other people at that same job. And another really important message is if your children are sick, please keep them home. I have 4 children in school, and during this season I actually refer to them as my little petri dishes because they go to school and mingle with all the other little petri dishes. Keep your kids home if they're sick, stay home if you're sick.
And it's also important to have some products at home, have a flu kit at home, because if you have a situation where you're home for a long period of time, you might need to have some supplies on hand.
Really important, especially if you have small children at home or you're taking care of an elderly relative. Middle of the night, children get fevers at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think that really is the time that children are supposed to get fevers. And if you don't have a thermometer or children's Motrin or Tylenol, you'll be running to a 24-hour store at that time of night.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have some products for yourself, really tailor it to your family's needs depending on what they need. A thermometer, we have Tylenol and Motrin, and also a sports drink, to make a sports drink that has electrolytes in case there is some problems with dehydration.
All good reasons to stay home and get well, or to at least do what we can to stay well. Thank you very much, Lisa Brodsky, for joining us on Edina. I hope you have a nice holiday season.
Thank you.
Well, we promised you a little holiday dazzle on Edina. We're going to finish with a fashion statement. And joining me is Rhonda Rulin, trend specialist from Galleria. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. I really appreciate you coming. And we're going to talk about fashion. And this year it's about accessories and mixing fabrics, right?
Yes, we've got 3 models today from 3 different stores, and they're all modeling things that are separates today, so we can show different ways to mix and match them for different events that you may be attending this season.
And you know, holiday parties are a lot of fun, but they can be a little bit stressful too when it comes to what to wear.
Yes, and for today, our first model, we've got Stacy from Chico's. Stacy has on a black nylon pant, and a lot of people have a black pant, but the great thing about this black pant is that it is washable, and it can be dressy or casual, and you can, and after numerous washings, this still remains black. So
nice.
I think it's a great black pant to have. And what we put with this today is a metallic sweater with a kimono sleeve. And for most people, this might be dressy enough just to wear these 2 items together, but we decided to be a little edgier with Stacy today, and we put on a little metallic wrap around her hip just to give it a little edge.
That's sweet.
And the great thing about owning a wrap like this season is this would be great over a black dress that you might have that's just something simple to dress it up. You could throw it over jeans, you could throw it over leggings, you could throw it inside of a suit. Just a great accessory to have.
So you get a lot of miles out of this outfit too.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And this is just one of the many things that you'll find at Chico's this season. They've got a lot of great separates, a lot of great outfits, and one of the things that I like about Chico's is they really stay on top of the trend, and they pay attention to size detail as well, and they've got sizes from 0 to 18, so
Nice.
they're open to a wide spectrum of people.
Beautiful. Great. What's next?
Well, next we've got Lori from Dugo, and Lori is showing Marissa Baratelli blouse from Dugo. This is just one of the many blouses that you'll find at Dugo this season. They come in a lot of colors, shapes, and styles. This particular blouse is the Christmas plaid tie silk.
Beautiful.
And we chose to have Lori dressy today, so we put her on with a silk taffeta skirt. And the great thing about the skirt, as you'll notice, is it's got some tied details around the bottom of the hem, which can be altered. You can do it on one side or both sides, or you can have it completely flat. And the great thing about Lori's outfit today is, you know, you really can take the blouse and throw it on with a pair of velvet pants, with a black short skirt, with a black plain pant. You could throw on a sweater and a belt and boots with that skirt. And again, if you're going away this holiday season, maybe you're going to a Caribbean island or on a cruise, you could take and put the tank with the skirt and put on a cute little sandal.
Very photogenic look, too. This is from Dugo's?
Yes, and Dugo is a new store this season. It's open about 6 months now in the Galleria, and it stands for Dress Up, Go Out, but however, they do have casual to dressy. And one of the things that Dugo that you'll notice is that they really pay attention to high-end designers that they carry, as well as they pay attention to detail with the fabrics that they carry within the designers.
Great, wonderful wear.
Thank you, Lori.
Love it. Well, casual's also in this year.
Yes, and denim is being one of my favorite. We've got Veronica from Len Ruskin, and she is modeling a habitual jean with it's the Carol Wash straight leg jean, and we teamed it up with a single blouse. It's a kimono, burnt velvet, tie-dyed top with a little unpierced waistband. And it really is pretty by itself. We really didn't feel like we really need to put too much jewelry with it, because it's really just the neckline on it is just beautiful.
Simple look.
Yeah, and one of the great things that with this particular outfit is just the monochromatic feel that you really don't feel like you've got denim on. And Len's also carries shoes, so we put on a pair of Seychelles peep toe. They're like a denim feel with a little jeweled toe. And this is just one of the great things you'll find at Len's. Len does carry a lot of denim jeans. They've got a lot of designer jeans. They're known for the latest and the greatest of the trends that are out there for the jeans.
And for men's wear as well.
Yes, they carry men's as well as women's.
Beautiful look. I love it. Well, so we've got accessories, that's in.
Yep.
And we've got seasonal wear, so it's not just about the parties this holiday season, but we can get some miles out of our wardrobe.
Yes, I think that's one of the key things, and especially I know that many people out there have several events to go to, and having multitude of outfits that they can wear together is one of the key things to have this season.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Everybody looks absolutely wonderful. Maybe we should bring everybody out here so they have an opportunity to get one more look at everything you've seen on the program so far today. If there's anything here that you see and you want more information on, they should get a hold of Ron or Ruland, right, at the Galleria.
Yes, and I will be happy to help you with any of your holiday needs.
And if you, of course, don't see anything here that you necessarily like or fancy, you'll be able to help them out as well.
We will find them.
All
we'll
right.
find it for them.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much to our models. We really appreciate having you on in Edina. Well, we hope you've enjoyed all of our segments here on In Edina. We also hope you have a happy holiday season. We'd like to thank all our guests from A Look at Fashion, A Way to Prevent the Flu, A Look into the Future as we plan for the city of Edina, and of course what's happening on the Promenade. For now, I'm your host, Lillian McDonald. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month on In Edina.